I'm Rosie Hardy. This is Rosie Hardy Gardening. If you like our videos, then please do help us and subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about collecting seed and where you should be storing it. There are all sorts of seeds out there, and coming to the end of the summer, into the autumn, late autumn, a lot of plants are setting seed, and I know lots of people like to have free plants, so you either allow your plants to self-seed around the place, in which case you leave them with all their seed heads up, floating around, and allow them to drop the seed down into the ground, and then you've got free plants all around. Or other people don't really want things seeding around. They like to be able to control the plants that they have, being able to pot them on and then placing them where they want them. So what are you going to do? So at this time of the year, there are all sorts of different shapes of seed heads around there. Some are ready to sow, some are not. You've got beautiful heads like this. This is Alstromeiria. Now you can see with the Alstromeiria here, it's got this wonderful ball-shaped top here with a little cap on it. Now this is just about ready to pop because the cap on the top here of this capsule opens up and then the seeds sprout out. Now when they're brown like this, they're nearly ready. When they're green like this, they are not. So you need to be collecting some of these. You can store them, you can allow them to pop into paper bags or something like that. Absolutely no problem at all. Patrinia, this is another one of those plants which is just starting to get itself ready for you to be able to collect the seed. So this one here is all brown. All of the seeds are coming off, and actually they've already started to drop onto my hand here. If they were like this particular branch that I've taken here, you can see the difference in the colour. So basically you've got one that is already all brown, and if you tap it, then you're getting seed on the ground. You can't see that on the table like that, but if I tap that like so, you can see now seed has actually dropped onto the paper bag there, and these are your little seeds with these wings. So what happens there is that in the nature, these would just get wafted off in the breeze and waft off down somewhere and maybe travel a little way. They are not ready when they are still green like this, although there may be some behind these which are ready. So what you can do with a plant like this is you can take a paper bag, and you can take the paper bag to your plant, and you just literally put it over the top of the seed that you want to collect, and then you can snip off that bit of the plant into your paper bag. And you will find that if you give this bag a little bit of a shake like so, what you've ended up with is those seeds which are ready to come off have fallen off, and you've got a nice lot of seed. Now you can see I've got much more seed in the bottom there, but this is not quite ready, but you can still keep it like that. Put it into paper bags, not plastic bags, paper bags, because then they'll stay dry, and go and put that somewhere in a warm place where they can dry off, and then you can give them another shake and more will come off. Or you can use your paper bag over the top of the one that is all ready to drop off, and this way you're catching them all. So you can just cut off one or two pieces. You don't need a lot unless you're wanting to do a complete meadow, and then you will be able to just shake those in the bottom of that bag like so, and the majority of them will then fall off into the bottom of the bag, and you will get a lot of plant material. You can flick it around, and you will be able to see now that I have now got far more seed off that lot that is there. But I would still put some in there, and then they'll be fine. These seeds, you can see, are beautiful. They've got little wings on them and they're great. And the little dark bit is actually the seed that's going to grow. So that can all go in there. Write the name on the bag so that you remember what it is that you've actually collected. So that was the Patrinia. That's gone into its paper bag. I've got other things here which would be quite good to collect in paper bags. I've got Gillenia trifoliata here. This is completely different. This has got little capsules and they start quite tight like this, and then they open up almost like a flower themselves, and then within the little pieces here are held individual seeds. Now these are not, again, not quite ready, but if you left them on the plant you'd probably miss them because you always do tend to. So again, it's much easier to just go around, put this over the top. I always do it this way because if you go and cut them off first and then shake it around, you lose half of your seed. So at least in doing it in this fashion, by putting your paper bag over the top and cutting those stems into the bag, you are holding tight to all of those seeds that are inside that area. And you can just continue doing that, putting them all into there and cutting the stems off, and then you will be able to shake them around. Not much is coming out yet. 1 or 2 seeds are coming out, and again, somewhere dry, and that will get those ones going. So that's Gillenia trifoliata. With the Allium seed heads, again, inside here, lovely black seeds, and they're all ready to go. So these again you can store inside and keep them going. Those are all quite small seeds or seeds that are visible. Something which has got larger seed pods are these. This is the Baptisia, and these make these beautiful black seed pods like so. And what you can do with these is that they will split open, and then you can see the individual seeds that are in here. There are also beetles that have made their home in here, which are probably trying to eat some of the seeds that I've got in here as well. But you'll see lots and lots of beautiful seeds coming out of this seed pod. Some of these will be viable, some of them won't be viable. If they are slightly miscoloured or misshaped, then they aren't of any use at all. But you can collect all of those. Here we go. There's still more in here. They're just lovely dark seeds on this. Really beautiful seeds. Let's just take those out of there. Just scrape them out. There they are. There they are. So there you've got really lovely seeds from the Baptisia. They're kidney shaped, a little bit like a bean. 1 or 2 have got mildew and mold on them, which means they're going to be of absolutely no use to you whatsoever. So you can get rid of those. There's a little bit of anything that's black is of no good as well. The ones that are viable are these beautiful brown ones here, and you could sow those straight away, or you could keep them so you could put them in. You don't have to have paper bags like that. Self-seal envelopes are very good for putting seed into. Put them in like so, seal it up, put the name on, put the date on it, and that's absolutely fine. So you can sow some seed straight away, you can keep some stored. Just remember to date it, and then you know how old your seed is exactly. So again, with the Alstromeiria, you'd probably cut off the brown ones, put those into a place like that as well. This little plant is a Teucrium. The Teucriums hold their seeds here, and they've got little trapdoors. Those then ping open and the seeds go flying off. They're not quite ready either, but it's worth keeping a few and seeing what you can get. So that is one way of doing it. Collect the seed, go out to your plants, and they will be absolutely fine. Now, I said paper bags, paper envelopes, reusing things. You know, if you get an envelope through the post, use it for collecting your seeds in. Absolutely no problem at all. You can tell that we've reused these bags numerous times. We've got at least 5 names on there. Nothing wrong with that. The bag is still perfectly usable. All the seed that was used before has been tipped out of the bottom of it, so it's now a clean, empty bag to collect your seed, and you will be able to gather it all quite nicely. So you'd be able to put, say, a seed head like that of an Allium in there. These are coming out and you're getting beautiful seed dropping out of this seed head really, really quickly. And just to show you, they are a different size of seed. There we go, beautiful black seeds all over that envelope. Absolutely fantastic. So you could just let that, it's not dropped all of them, you can still see black seed in there. That could go in there as well and sit, and then you just have a whole mass of these stored. They need to go somewhere where it is warm but not too hot. They need to go somewhere quite dark. It doesn't have to be bright lights. Just store them for a little while till all the seed comes out, and then you can start sowing it. Something that may be a little bit more difficult to collect are things like the grasses. So what we have now started to do here on the nursery is, instead of taking the grass and actually going like so and taking all of that seed off and then putting it onto the seed tray like so, if you water it, it goes flying off into the distance. So instead of doing that, we have now taken to actually just cutting the seed heads as they are and laying them flat onto the actual seed compost, and that way you've got all of the seed held there and you can just quickly water it over, and it's very visible, so you can just flatten it down, you can give it a quick water over the top, it's not going to fly off, and hey presto, a bit later on all of the seed has come out where you have laid all of that down. And it is a really easy way of doing it. It just germinates straight off there and you're not losing all that fine seed all over the place. So that is a good way of doing it. You can also do that with some of the really lightweight seeds, such as things like Eurybia or Erigerum. So you can see they've got these wonderful heads here. If I just flick it, you will see it's all going like a dandelion and going all over the place. Now that's fine, but again, it's just done a really massive dispersal like that. But you can, again, just literally drop the seed heads down onto your compost like so. And once I've got them into a reasonable way, you just literally turn them upside down so that they are like that, and then they won't float around too far, and that is absolutely fine. Those would all germinate quite nicely and quite easily. It's quite a cheating way of doing it, but it's efficient use of time and it makes it quite lovely and easy. So you've done a few that have just scattered themselves, with the others you just literally put down like that. Give it a little light water over the top. Remember to label what you've done. Labeling, dating is always a good thing, because it tells you how long the material has been there. It also means that you are aware if it hasn't germinated in 3 weeks, then you're going to have to do something else with it. So that is what you need to be looking at and doing. When you are then thinking about seeding, little envelopes like this, and especially old wage packets, these are brilliant. Again, these are something we've reused and reused, just put tape on them and everything else. But remember, if you are sowing out of a packet like this, do not sew over that edge, because all that happens is this is still sticky and your seeds end up getting caught on here. So turn it that way, and then because you've got this nice little narrow bit there, you are able to sow really, really easily. Please don't put the seeds in your hands, because you will notice that if I put something like the Allium seed into my hand, when I can get some out, here we come on. There we go. we've got a little bit of allium seed in my hand like that. Yes, there's stuff on there as well. But one thing that you need to remember is, do you know whether your seed is poisonous? An awful lot of seed is poisonous. Also, if you're a lady, you've probably used hand cream. And, you know, doing this, a lot of people do that. They put seed in there, they go like that, they have a little look at it. Do we know why we're doing that? No, it's because you've seen other people do it. But the other thing is, the seeds probably won't fall off your hand. Okay, one or two do, but that one's stuck. That's because I've got hand cream on. Hand cream is a grease, and if you end up greasing the outside of your seed, you have waterproofed your seed. Therefore, it cannot absorb water. So if you are going to use your hand to sow, wear a glove. And that way you don't coat your seed and make it waterproof, because you need them to imbibe water so that they can germinate. Okay, so quickly recap. Collect the seed fresh. Some of it you can sow straight away. Some of it you can store. Some of it you are going to need to wait and let it dry till it comes out of the capsules, and then you can sow it. But always use paper bags, paper envelopes, and keep the stuff warm, not too hot, somewhere not too bright, so not in a bright greenhouse, that's not the best place to do it. Somewhere where it's not going to get damp, it's got to be dry. And then have fun collecting your seeds, have fun looking at them, seeing them germinate, and then pricking them out, and you have created new seeds for you to use in your garden. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel.